Zeverland. Welcome to Zeverland, where the apocalypse doesn't start with a bang. It starts with confusion, chaos, and a whole lot of bad luck. This game drops you right at the beginning of a zombie outbreak. No safe base, no military rescue. Just you, a few survivors, and a world that's losing control minute by minute. The devs describe it as a sandbox zombie survival playground. But what makes Zeverland really stand out is how it lets you build, craft, and experiment in real time. You could literally turn almost anything into a weapon or a trap, duct tape a chainsaw to a bicycle, or create electrified barricades out of street lamps. The world reacts to you, and the zombies evolve as you play. It's not just survival, it's creativity under pressure. You can explore open neighborhoods, build bases, or even test crazy theories about how to stop the infection. And here's the twist. Zeverland's AI learns your behavior. The more predictable you are, the faster the undead adapt. As a gamer, this feels like a mix of Project Zomboid, The Forest, and 7 Days to Die, but with way more personality and chaos. Multiplayer mode lets you survive, sabotage, or save other players. It's unpredictable, raw, and wild. The kind of zombie game you'll lose days to without realizing it. BODYCAM Zombies. If you've ever wanted to feel like you're actually inside a found footage zombie horror movie, BODYCAM Zombies delivers that nightmare. Built in Unreal Engine 5 by just two insanely talented developers, the original BODYCAM went viral for its ultra-realistic graphics. Now, they're adding a zombie mode, and it's terrifying. You're a SWAT-style operator dropped into abandoned facilities, cities, and subway tunnels. The catch is, you only see through your chest-mounted camera. Every shake, every light flicker, every sound of breath feels too real. Zombies here don't just sprint at you, they stalk you. They hide in corners, they crawl under cars, they break down doors with bone-crunching realism. Every bullet matters because ammo is rare, and the lighting makes it hard to see what's lurking in front of you. As a gamer, this one feels closest to a nightmare version of Ready or Not, mixed with Resident Evil 7, except there's no cinematic safety, no HUD, and no pause, just raw panic. Players who tested the early build said the atmosphere is unbearably realistic and that some even had to take breaks because of the intensity. So yeah, BODYCAM Zombies isn't just a game, it's an experience. One that'll make you jump every time you hear a noise behind you. Blight Survival. Now imagine zombies in medieval armor. That's Blight Survival, a brutal co-op action horror set in the 14th century. Two rival kingdoms are at war, and something far darker spreads across the battlefield, a deadly blight that turns the dead into the infected. You and up to 3 other players act as scavengers diving into the war-torn no man's land to collect gear, cure supplies, and take down corrupted humans. The visuals are pure Unreal Engine 5 beauty. Misty forests, burning villages, decaying castles, and horrifying plague-ridden enemies. It's got brutal melee combat, stealth elements, and some Souls-like intensity. Every fight is slow, dirty, and tense. Blood sprays across your armor, and a single mistake can get you infected. If you've ever played Hunt Showdown or A Plague Tale, you'll feel right at home. It's realistic, grim, and grounded. You can hear the flies buzzing, the armor clanging, the moans of the blighted echoing through the trees. As a gamer, I'm hyped because it's not about machine guns or explosions. It's about the fear of facing something ancient and unstoppable with nothing but steel and courage. Blight Survival might redefine what medieval horror can look like. Resilient. is what you get when emotional storytelling meets zombie survival. Set years after a devastating bio-outbreak, you play as one of the last survivors trying to rebuild life in a shattered world. But here's the twist. You're not just fighting zombies, you're dealing with human nature itself. The developers promise branching storylines that challenge morality. Do you save the stranger begging for help, or do you close the door to protect your group? Every choice reshapes your world and your relationships. The gameplay blends open-world exploration, scavenging, and base building with heavy narrative elements, something between The Last of Us and State of Decay. You can fortify shelters, craft weapons, and manage scarce resources, but every decision has weight. As a gamer, this one hits hard because it feels human. The infected aren't the only danger. It's the loneliness, the desperation, the moral cost of survival. Expect deep emotional beats, realistic environments, and a haunting soundtrack that stays with you long after you log off. A.I.L.A. A.I.L.A. Artificial Intelligence Lethal Awakening is a psychological horror that combines AI technology with undead terror. You play as a game tester working inside a mysterious tech company testing a horror simulator powered by an evolving AI. But soon, the AI becomes self-aware, warps the game's code, and starts manifesting the horrors, including zombies, in real life. The environments constantly change. One moment you're in a peaceful lab, the next you're trapped in a rotting corridor filled with crawling infected. The AI knows your playstyle. It learns what scares you, what weapons you use, and adjusts every encounter. As a gamer, this one feels like PT meets Observer and Resident Evil. It's creepy, intelligent, and full of meta-storytelling. The realism of Unreal Engine 5 makes it terrifyingly immersive. It's less about hordes and more about dread, the psychological kind. And when you start seeing undead figures outside your VR chamber in the game, you'll start to question what's real. The Gold River Project. The first thing you'll notice about the Gold River Project is how beautiful it looks. A wild, remote stretch of forest, serene rivers, golden sunlight filtering through the trees. But behind that beauty lies something sinister. You play as a group of explorers investigating a series of missing person cases near Gold River. Soon, you uncover hidden laboratories, strange mutations, and infected wildlife that behave like zombies. The game's mix of survival, exploration, and mystery gives off strong Green Hell and Sons of Forest vibes. You'll have to manage hunger, thirst, and sanity while piecing together what really happened, all while avoiding being torn apart by infected creatures that once were human. As a gamer, what excites me most is that this game captures that uneasy, too quiet horror. You can hear the river flowing, birds chirping. Then everything goes silent. That's when you know something's wrong. If the developers nail the survival mechanics and horror pacing, Gold River Project could be one of the most atmospheric, zombie-adjacent games in years. Crathos Deep. Now for something darker. Crathos Deep, a survival horror game set in an underwater research facility. The experiment? Trying to cure infection using deep-sea bacteria. The result? Total disaster. You wake up alone in a flooded complex, alarms blaring, lights flickering, and the sound of something human but not quite echoing through the pipes. The infected here are aquatic. They crawl on walls, swim in shadows, and strike from the dark. Gameplay mixes claustrophobic exploration, puzzle solving, and survival horror. Think Soma meets Dead Space with a heavy dose of zombie mutation. Oxygen is limited, ammo is scarce, and the deeper you go, the worse it gets. As a gamer, this one hits my fear buttons perfectly. Isolation, water, and the unknown. Valor Mortis. Valor Mortis takes zombie horror into dark fantasy territory. You play as a fallen soldier resurrected by a mysterious plague that gives you unnatural powers, but at a terrible cost. The world is collapsing under war and infection, and your choices determine whether you'll fight for humanity or embrace your corruption. The combat is fast, weighty, and brutal, like a mix between Dark Souls and Lords of the Fallen, except the enemies are grotesque, undead abominations. Lore-wise, this one feels massive. There are ancient rituals, cursed bloodlines, and moral decisions that shift your ending. Every victory feels earned, and every death has meaning. As a gamer, I love that it's not just another survival shooter, it's myth, mystery, and monsters wrapped into a cinematic RPG experience. Valor Mortis is shaping up to be one of 2026's most unique takes on zombie horror.